Hello, I'm the Who Guy and welcome back to another video, and today we have the episode review on time. Boom! Episode 3 of season 1. That's kind of still weird to say, of Doctor Who, the brand new season. I'm going to go through my thoughts and a general review on the episode itself. If you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe down below if you're new. You can also find a giveaway on this channel for 200 subscribers. Click up there and enter in the video comments down below in that video. I was very excited for this episode, so let's get straight into the review. So starting with the good things about this episode. Yeah, there's not that many, I'm gonna be honest. I had a lot of hype around this episode with Steven Moffat coming back. I was hoping big things. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a great fan of this episode, but starting with the good things, there's a few. I know a lot of you guys are going to love this episode. Me personally, not so much. So I'm just going to get through the good things and then I'm going to tell you why I didn't really find the episode that great. The main good thing with this episode, by far, by a country mile, is Ncuti Gatwa. He was incredible in this episode and maybe his best performance yet, and he has carried this episode so much. It's why I love Matt Smith so much as the Doctor. There's a lot of episodes during the Matt Smith era that I think are pretty dull, and he just brings the fun. I think this is the exact same here. I think Ncuti is absolutely on point on this episode, whether it's his jokes, whether it's his seriousness in situations. Like, overall, this episode has to be Ncuti's best. Absolutely amazing. Start of the episode, it was very strange. We kind of got this feeling of Eric from Sex Education, if you've ever watched that, and then he turned back into the Doctor. I don't know what it was. I guess of course he's played Eric, but it just felt like Eric, not the Doctor. But then he turned into the Doctor, so overall throughout the episode he was amazing. And of course we got that amazing speech at the end of the episode, which is one of the things that I was looking out for this season, was big speeches. And we of course got the Steven Moffat classic.
I am not a good man.
Very happy to see that, and a very powerful speech at the end. And yeah, just really well performed this episode from Ncuti Gatwa. Millie Gibson as well was fun. She wasn't in it much, which we'll get into. However, yeah, 15th Doctor nailed on, absolutely fantastic. Ncuti Gatwa, I'm really excited to see him in next episodes as well as further seasons on. He's really hit home this episode that I am in love with his Doctor. I'm not too sure about his costumes yet, but overall, him as the Doctor, perfect.
Oh, it's perfect, Benny.
We've got the reveal of the brand new companion of season 2. That came out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually notice it straight away, and then it clicked that I recognised her, and yeah, so didn't see this coming at all. I thought in the episode she did a decent job, and there were hints that maybe she could return. Excited to see her in this episode, but just not the greatest of starts. The episode was a roller coaster. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. It depends what I wake up to, and to be honest, I didn't wake up. I had to stay up till 12 o'clock to make this review, so, you know, because let's release Doctor Who at 12 o'clock for your main audience. Thank you, BBC. I'll say the tension in this episode was sky high. There were moments where you actually feared for characters such as Ruby dying, as well as the Doctor dying, blowing up. The whole bit about him being a Time Lord and how that's going to create this massive blowback with the bomb, and yeah, just crazy. I like the concept of this with the Doctor being stuck on the mine. I don't think it was done brilliantly. However, I just thought the tension between scenes was really well done, and it did get me on the edge of my seat. I just felt like there were moments where I wasn't on the edge of the seat. We'll get into that. I just thought The good bits are really, really good, and that's usually the intense bits of the episode, but there were other bits in the episode that I wasn't too keen on. Also, I love the moment as well. I shouldn't, but I did like the moment where Ruby got shot. That came out of nowhere. That was a big, big surprise. Again, got sorted pretty quick. However, that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that at all. And the effect of her rolling down the hill was much better than the effect that Chris Chibnall gave us for the Doctor falling off a cliff. I know that's a bit different, but still. Into special effects later in the episode, not in the good, because God, I'm still having nightmares.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Talking about things that weren't executed well, I might as well put myself on a green screen at this point. Does that look any better? Probably not, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, this episode looked horrendous. I don't care what anyone has to say in the comments. This is not an opinion. It was terrible. I think we can all agree about that. This episode looked terrible. It looked like, well, they were on a green screen for most of the episode. We've seen like The Mandalorian do it right, where they have those screens and it works. This did not work. This looked cheap. And with the Disney budget, I was expecting more. I'm not going to lie. This feels like this was a last minute episode. Stephen Moffat write it quick. Let's get it out. One studio, one room, change the set a bit on the floor, and we go. And yeah, it didn't work for me at all. I think the planet itself looked beautiful in the setting. It just didn't look right. It didn't mix with the characters. You could clearly see that most of this was a green screen and CGI. There was a shot with the Doctor running at the start when he was running for the voice. It looked like a figure kind of adventure. It really didn't look great. Yeah, I just was not a fan of the special effects in this episode. Yeah, no. That is my main gripe with this episode. It really took me out. I couldn't really take the episode seriously. With the past two episodes, I think the special effects have been pretty decent, to be honest, and this one just feels like we've had a step back, and even a step back from the Chris Chibnall era. This really did feel very, very bad, and I just hope it doesn't tune off viewers on Disney that are expecting these big budget shows like the Marvel and Star Wars effects, and then you're watching Doctor Who and you're seeing that. I don't know. Tell me guys what you thought in the comments, but to me, it just didn't look right at all. I thought Susan Twist was a bit of a waste in this episode. I'm not getting sick of her, I don't want to say that, but we're not learning anything new. She's just appearing, which I guess is okay, and we're probably going to find out at the end of the season what this all means. However, she had a smaller role than I thought she was going to have. I thought this episode she might have a bigger role in, and no, it was just her appearance again. No character name, no nothing. So, don't know what's going on with that. Again, not too bad. I don't know why I've put it in the bad. A lot of pacing issues again with this one. It just felt like we were going into this hardcore kind of tension, oh my god, nail biting on the edge of your seat scene, and then we would just cut back to Monday and her wannabe boyfriend, I can't even remember his name, and it would just play this lovely music and they would be like chatting away about love and stuff.
Yeah, love.
Meanwhile, the little girl's dad is dead, the Doctor's about to die, and you've just shot Ruby. Like, craziness, absolutely craziness. Really took me out of the episode again. Like an episode where I'm gouging out my eyes like the Timeless Child, but yeah, this... it just didn't mix with me very well, I gotta say. It might be because I stayed up late to watch it, but yeah, no, not a great fan. Bits where it was just boring, and you were just like, oh, when we get into the good bit, and then the good bit happened, but it was only for like 10 seconds, and then we would cut back to boring bits, and
Go to bed, Pom.
I thought the start of the episode was alright, where we held building aspect to it, but apart from that, every other scene that wasn't shooting Gatwa was boring to me in this episode. The episodes where you're in a confined space like Midnight, I think each of the characters really nailed on point. There was never really time to stop, and when you were stopping, it was for a reason. This just felt like we were stopping because we had to keep the runtime going and you couldn't think of new ideas. Also, with the political messages and everything in this episode, just made it a confuffled mess altogether. Just Shooty just trying to keep it all together as a decent episode with all his speeches, but with all the everything in this episode. And like I said, the political messages, there were so many in this. I don't mind political messages. I'm not a political person myself, really, and having them in here, Doctor Who's always had political messages. I'm not saying don't have them, but it was political message after message after message after message, and I was like, okay, can we have some story? Finally got some story. I've said that a lot about these new episodes. I am enjoying them. I expected more. I really expected more from this episode. It's a big disappointment, this episode, to me.
You're gonna find yourself a shoulder to cry.
Probably rewatch it and love it, because Midnight I originally didn't like. I'll probably rewatch this and it'll be the best episode ever. But right now, when I'm making this review, not a fan. That's pretty much it. That's all I can pretty much say about this episode. There's not too much to actually talk about, because it was mostly green screen. I'm not gonna lie. Most of that episode was just Ncuti Gatwa talking to us characters as the Doctor, and that's pretty much it. Wasn't much story progression for any of the characters. I thought the daughters being accepting of the dad, finding that a bit weird. I'm speechless, because I was expecting so much more from this episode. I can't say that enough, and I don't know what you guys was expecting, but I was really excited for this episode, and it just feels like a bit of a letdown. Ncuti was brilliant, but it just looked cheap, and pacing was all over the place. So overall, what am I going to give it rating wise? I'm going to give it a 5. So yes, that is the worst episode so far. I'm probably going to change that, but I just felt like I had more fun with the other 2 episodes, I've got to admit, so I have to put it lower. I think aspects of this episode was probably the best. Out of all 3 of the episodes, there were moments in this episode that were the best by far. Some of the speeches in this episode were brilliant. However, the rest of the episode just brings it all the way down into last place for me so far. So a 5 out of 10, still middling. I don't hate this episode, but I'm not a fan either. And to describe this episode in 3 words, it would be powerful green screen. If you guys did enjoy this review, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe down below. Don't be too harsh. I know a lot of you guys will probably like this video, but this is my opinion, so make sure you comment down below of your thoughts. I've been the Who Guy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I'm a green!